So something happened today which could start a bit of a chain reaction. Now, it wouldn't be a bad chain reaction, but I'm fearful that for me it would be different because TikTok for me has always been a bit of a release. Just thoughts and things that go through my head, plus to help me manage my addictions. Now, for which has got to be over 3 years now, I've been clean and sober with no tobacco. Yay me. But over time, the more people that find my account that know me in the real world, I've kind of changed the type of content that I do. It used to be like really weird, unusual thoughts. And not long ago, actually, I happened to be talking to one of my son's friends' mums on here because she found my account. I think we were chatting for whatever reason, something to do with our sons. And I happened to say to her about it, the fact that because my son and his mates are finding it out, I find that I'm reducing how weird I am. And she was like, I wouldn't bother about it. And ever since then, I've been kind of getting back to not as weird as I used to be and unusual, but just getting back to the fact of just not caring. Because I was a bit fearful that my son would start being bullied because of some of the thoughts I have, like flat earth and simulation theory and things like that. But my kids know how weird and unusual I am, and they accept it, and they quite like it most of the time. So for a while now, I've been kind of getting back to being as weird and unusual as I am, without fear of people knowing or finding out. Now, one of the main reasons why it's quite easy to do that is there's very, very little people who make it known that they know about my TikTok. I think a lot of people that know me in the real world do know, but they purposely don't follow or like my stuff just so that it's not known to me. Now, I do the same with other people, just because there is quite a lot of times where I come across people's page that I do know, but not for a horrible thing. I just don't like or comment or follow them just so that we don't start seeing a lot more of each other and everybody else that we know. Because I like the fact that this is completely separate from the real world, if you like. Now, this morning, I came across someone's page who I have done once or twice, who was the niece of my ex. Now, I didn't know this, but she's a tattoo artist, quite a good one. And she was showing off some of the pictures of her work. So I was scrolling through the pictures, and all of a sudden I scrolled too far and went onto her profile page. And I thought, oh God, now she's going to know that I was on her profile page when I was just looking at the pictures. So I thought, well, I'll just like the video anyway, because the stuff was quite good. And if it came to it, I would just be like, oh, your stuff's very nice. But the knock-on effect could be, because I used to go out drinking and stuff with her mum and dad. So the knock-on effect could be that if she turns around to her family and says, you'll never guess who I found on TikTok. And he seems to use TikTok a lot. And then they would tell their family, and then it would just be a snowball effect. And what I wouldn't want is for the way that I use TikTok to change and just stop being as weird and unusual and just putting my thoughts out there and just not caring about who sees it. But I think I've got to the point now where, because my kids and their mates see it and things like that, I don't think that would happen. But I can't help but be a little bit fearful that if everybody I knew about my TikTok, I wouldn't be able to be the person I am on TikTok. I know it probably wouldn't happen, but it was the fear that went through my head when I did, because TikTok for me is like a happy place. For the way I use it and the videos I do, I know I'm messed up, and I accept it, as I've said before. Even my kids accept it. My daughter, actually, I was on the phone with my daughter yesterday, and every now and again, our mum does a fair where she sells things that she does. And every now and again, she'll phone me up and say, is it okay if I go with mum to the fair at the weekend? Because she needs my help, which means that I don't get to see her that weekend. And it doesn't happen very often, so I do say to her, yeah, it's fine, do you know what I mean? You've got your own life. I know it's going to happen more often the older they get. So she phoned me up, but when she phoned me up, she went, so I'm just letting you know, it is Monday. I'm not going to be coming Friday, but Nathan is. But as it's only Monday, you probably forget by then anyway, sort of thing. Because they know, which is good. I like the fact that because of how open and honest I am about everything in my life with everybody, it sort of takes away from the worrying, horrible, negative things that can go on in life where no matter what happens in my life, I know because I'm open and honest with everybody about everything, it wouldn't be a shock and it wouldn't be a big thing. So I like that about it. But with every single person that knows me in the real world knowing about my TikTok, I'm just fearful that it would stop me being completely unapologetically who I am. And I think that phase may actually spark something in a lot of people who haven't blocked me by now, and they'll go, do you know what? Being unapologetically himself, that kind of makes sense now. Because I don't think a lot of people are unapologetically themselves for fear of being unliked or unfollowed. Whereas I don't care. Because I've got my couple of little happy places, like I said. One being TikTok. The other is my flat, because I've never been completely diagnosed with anything, but I think one of the things I do suffer from is agoraphobia, which I think a lot of people, everything's a spectrum, but I think with agoraphobia, I think a lot of people think it's fear of going outside. When as far as I'm aware, or my version of it anyway, that I think I've got, is it's fear of influences that can affect me when I go outside, not about going outside itself. So I do tend to stay in my little one-bedroom flat pretty much all the time unless I'm going out shopping or just going on my walks and things like that. But other than that, my flat is my happy place. And although you always see my gaming corner when I go sitting right there, but from my perspective, here's what it looks like when I'm sitting in my happy place. And by now, you already know that in a minute when I go live, I'm going to be sitting right here and playing Euro Truck Simulator 2.